What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Week 14 edition of the Cash Process. I'm your host, Ben Hostler. I am solo this week. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please be sure to click the like button on this video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, ring that notifications bell so that you know whenever we post a new video. We have daily basketball videos that Bales and our NBA team has been churning out. I'll be more involved in those once football season's over. Obviously, I typically do 1 to 2 NFL videos per week as well, and then we have the Sunday morning stream. If you guys haven't been watching that, every Sunday morning, 11 a.m., myself, Sam, who does the projections that you see every week on this video, and then sometimes AC too. 11 a.m. Sunday, answer all your last-minute DFS questions. It is Wednesday morning, so before we get into it, I don't want to spend too much time on last week. I do want to shout out Matt, one of our NFL analysts, Mig the Tig. You see him on this, not this video, but you see him on the other video, the DraftKings advice video we do typically on Thursdays. So you've seen him on there this season. He's obviously in Discord if you guys are subscribers, but this guy has been one of the hottest NFL DFS players in the world this season. Multiple just huge wins with his core plays that he posts for subscribers. So this past weekend he took home $70K with his core plays that he posted for all of our subscribers to view. And this isn't a situation where you see an analyst posts his huge screenshot on Twitter, and that's that. Our subscribers that tail our core plays every week actually, they played his lineup. A lot of our subscribers took home a lot of money. Spike, who does NBA stuff for us, won $30K with it, and multiple few $1,000 wins for our subscribers with those core plays as well. So shout out to Matt. He's been crushing it. We're gonna try and get him on the video on Thursday this week, but it's just another reason for you guys to sign up. dfscover.com/pricing. Still a good chunk. Still a month of NFL left. Then we got a couple good playoff slates as well. I've been doing Showdown that I've had a lot of success with, so we'll be doing Showdown throughout the playoffs and stuff as well. It was a good week for me as well in Week 13. I played kind of just like the obvious lineup that was really chalky. A lot of people had it in cash. With Minshew and all the value that we had, but ended up working out. Won most of my double ups, a lot of my head to heads, but it was a good week. We're gonna head on to this week though. Looks like a pretty interesting week. It looks like decently soft pricing from what I've looked at. Just looking at the site's pricing. But we're gonna start out with quarterback. I have quarterback pulled up here on the screen. Our projections portal, which is part of our package that you can purchase on the website. I have it sorted by Karma Rank right now, and you can see at the top Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. That's the top 4. So I think just looking at even at the pricing, Mahomes at 8K I think is certainly in play for tournaments against the Raiders, who he dropped a 40 ball against a few weeks ago. Probably not going to be where I would look in cash as of right now. He still just hasn't. He just hasn't looked right. I mean, he came off that 40 ball and put up 9.5 and then 13 last week. I'm not really worried about him, but it's just we haven't seen the ceiling that often from him. So I think when you talk about spending 8K in cash games, probably not what I'm going to be looking to do, but I do think he's in play for tournaments. He's going to be a really strong play in tournaments. Outside of him, I think I'm going to skip over. I don't know. I mean, that Bills-Bucks game is going to be so good, but I think I'm probably going to save that more for tournaments and just skip down to the Lamar Herbert tier. I like both of those guys a lot at their prices. Lamar obviously has the highest ceiling. I'm not worried about the matchup with the Browns. I know the Browns looked good against him in that game 2 weeks ago, but it's still Lamar Jackson at 7,400 for the highest ceiling. on the slate does sound good. And then Herbert at 71, he's probably not going to have Keenan Allen this week, but the Chargers have been playing really fast. They've been throwing the ball more and more each week. So I actually think he might be my favorite at 7,100. And then you have Dak at 67 that I think you can consider as well. So I think you have that 67 and up tier, and then you drop down to this mid 5K tier because you have Heineke, Cam Newton, and Taysom Hill. So I think it's going to be a conversation. If Taysom Hill wasn't dealing with this finger injury, I think he'd be a lock and load in cash at 5,600. But I mean, it sounds like he's going to play through it. He dropped 27 DK in his first start against the Cowboys. I don't know. I'm going to have to think on this throughout the week because when he hurt that finger, I mean, it's not like he's a great thrower as it is. But when he hurt that finger, I mean, it looked like he really just couldn't throw the ball. But he runs so much. I mean, 11 attempts for 101 yards. Sean Payton, he's going to scheme up a lot of designed runs for him. So I do think he's in play regardless. But the finger injury, it's going to be something to monitor. Cam, I think, is certainly in play. I know he looked so bad against the Dolphins. I don't think he's a great thrower anyways. But, Atlanta's just so bad they can't rush the passer. You kind of got the narrative of the Panthers firing Joe Brady now. Whoever the interim OC is, they might kind of let Cam do whatever he wants. But 5,400 against the Falcons is in play. But I might get up to that Herbert tier. We'll wait and see. But I do think those guys in the mid tier are in play. And it's something worth monitoring throughout the week. I'm going to pull up the running backs in the projections right now. Weird running back week. Most expensive running backs, Austin Eckler. He's 8,300. Coming off a good game, but a game that he fumbled twice. And is dealing with some bruises, apparently, according to Brendan Staley. I'm going to sort the running backs by value. And you can see at the top, we have Fournette, Eckler, Antonio Gibson, Javonte Williams, Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Jamal Williams. So not shocking that that's the top 6-7 guys there. So I don't think I want to spend up on any of those guys. We'll wait and see if Kamara plays. He has the extra rest since they played last Thursday to get ready. If he's healthy and in, I do think we'd have to consider him. I mean, he's only 7,900. Taysom's going to steal rushing work, but then at the same time, if you're thinking Taysom is really struggling with that finger injury, they might run the ball a little bit more. And it's the Jets, so definitely going to consider him if he's in, but we'll wait and see. Eckler, same story. I mean, I think he's in play, but I don't think he's a must play. Fournette is probably. I mean, I think I agree with the value right now. I think he's probably my favorite play over 7K as of right now. Zeke, don't want to touch him. So I think it is probably Fournette right now. And then you're kind of just dropping down. Gibson, we'll wait and see on J.D. McKissick if he gets cleared from that concussion and can play. But, I mean, the role was exactly what we thought it was going to be going into last week, right? 23 attempts, got involved in the passing game, caught 5 balls, caught a touchdown. So, if McKissick was out, he would once again be, a top play. We'll wait and see on Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams. Predictably, of course, we would have been all in on Javonte had that been on the main slate. It's Sunday night game. He just goes crazy for 100 yards, caught 6 balls for 76 and a touchdown. Huge game. So I think he would be in play regardless, but obviously we would really want Melvin Gordon out to just smash him. And then Barkley at 6K, I think is a really good play. With Jason Garrett gone in New York, I mean, they're kind of focusing a little bit more on just getting Barkley the ball. 13 DK points isn't great, but we're talking about Saquon Barkley for 6K against a pretty, lackluster run defense of the Chargers. So I definitely like Saquon at that price. Jamal Williams, I think he's in play. If you guys read any of my content or watched the Sunday stream last week, Jamal was like my biggest fade of the week. So that worked out. I mean, he only scored 9 DraftKings points, but 17 attempts. He was certainly involved. Not super involved in the passing game. So I think I would actually prefer Devonta Freeman to him. Sam and I were kind of talking about Devonta Freeman last night, but I mean he's clearly been the lead back for the Ravens the last few weeks. They're running the ball a ton. Cleveland's run defense has crumbled as the season has gone on. So I think if you're looking below 6K, I think I prefer Devonta Freeman to Jamal Williams as of right now. And then we'll wait and see if any more value opens up. But I think right now how I would play this is kind of looking at these mid-tier guys, right? And like Elijah Mitchell, I didn't mention him, but he's going to be in play again against Cincinnati. 22 attempts last week, caught 3 balls. So I think I'm just going to focus on some of these mid-tier guys this week. But I do really like Fournette at 7,400. And we'll wait and see on some injuries as the week goes on. If you guys, while I'm pulling up receiver here, if you guys want to do me a favor to like the video and then subscribe who your favorite running back is this week, because I think that I think this is one of the most interesting running back weeks. I mean, like I said, the pricing is soft with no one above 8,300, but there's also just no immediate smash plays unless we get some of those guys out again. At receiver, I'm gonna sort by Karma rank, and you can see at the top here, Tyreek Hill, Chase, Terry McLaurin, Steph Diggs, Lockett. So I think the biggest news that we're going to be waiting on at receiver, obviously, is Keenan Allen. I don't think Keenan Allen's going to play. I know they're kind of saying he can get cleared, but I cannot remember a time all season where someone's tested positive early week and then they've been able to get cleared and play in the next game. So I'm going to assume right now Keenan Allen's out. Obviously, the projections aren't going to reflect that as of right now, but I'm assuming him out. So what that's going to do is obviously, that's going to bump up Mike Williams. He's 6K. Going to be a really, really good play if he's out. Yes, the Giants are going to be able to focus more attention to him, but I think 6K with no Keenan would just be a huge bump. That also would bump Eckler. So if we get that news Keenan's out, that would bump Eckler enough for me to make him a must play at running back. So I'd be putting him in and then probably looking at the mid tier after that. It also would bump the supplementary guys. I think the tight ends would get a bump. I think Jalen Guyton would get a bump. He finally scored last week. For most of the season, he was notorious for running a lot of routes and just not doing much with them. But caught a long ball last week, and scored. So I do think he would be in play. He's 3,400, so really cheap. I'm sure that would pop, in a lot of projections. But I think for me personally at receiver, number one play, it's just going to be Chris Godwin. He's 7,100. I think with no Antonio Brown, he should be, an 8K receiver. People were worried about him. I mean, he was chalky last week, but I know just people still were worried about him coming off that bad game against Indy. But, I mean, you're allowed to have a bad game, right? Indy's been good in terms of slot coverage, and they just did a good job shutting him down. He ran bad with Fournette scoring all the touchdowns against Indy, and then he comes out last week and catches 15 balls for 143 yards. 33 DK points without even scoring a touchdown. So I think he's an over 8K receiver with no Antonio Brown, and they have him at 7,100. So I think he is a tremendous value, and he's going to be my top overall play at receiver once again. After him, I like some of these guys in the mid tier. I think the Seattle guys are definitely in play against Houston. Obviously, they look well in the projections right now. T. Higgins has been playing good. So, I mean, these defenses have kind of just been focusing more on Jamar Chase, rightfully so. And that's kind of opened some things up for T. Higgins. I don't think I like him more than the Seattle guys at 6,400. And then I honestly like, obviously, Mike Williams if Keenan's out at 6K, but I like Hunter Renfrow. Sam and I were talking about him a lot on Sunday morning. I thought he was a really good play. I know it's like sticker shock and it's tough to pay 6,100 for Hunter Renfrow, but I mean, this guy just gets so much usage with Waller out, and they're kind of similar. They're used in similar ways, him and Waller. So he kind of just alphas that usage. He's going to be efficient in terms of catching the ball. I mean, if you look at his last 5 games, 7 of 9, 7 of 9, 4 of 4, 8 of 9, 9 of 10. Like he's going to catch a lot of the targets because they're these short to intermediate routes. And he has the 100-yard upside. He's gone over 100 yards in each of his last 2 games and has yet to find the end zone, right? Hasn't scored in either of those 2 games despite clearly leading the receivers in targets. So I think Renfro's in play, certainly, at that price. Dropping down for some value. I mean, I don't like any of these cheaper guys, like, upon first look. I think, like I said, you can look at Guyton. Should Keenan miss? The other guy I like at 5,400, probably my favorite mid-tier play, is Jarvis Landry. So it's tough for me to want to play any Browns pass catchers at this point with how like that whole offense has looked, how Baker's looked. But I mean, he's getting so much work. They just have no one else that they can trust. 8 targets and 10 targets in the last 2 games, went over 100 yards. In that last game against Baltimore, he was kind of matched up with Marlon Humphrey. Now Marlon Humphrey's out. This Baltimore secondary does not look good down the stretch here. And now you're taking Marlon Humphrey out of that. So I think Landry, 5,400, going to project well as the week goes on. And I think he is a really strong play. We're going to head over to tight end here and kind of finish up. Tight end, I think I made a mistake last week. I thought Foster Moreau was just a lock for cash, which it worked out because we won cash games, but it kind of caused me to just not be as interested in George Kittle. I should have been more on George Kittle. I mean, it was kind of an obvious spot. Obviously didn't expect him to drop 40, but definitely should have been a little bit more heavy on Kittle. But now he's priced up 6,900. I think him, Kelsey, are both in play, but probably not cash game plays. Kelsey, in particular, I think just always owns the Raiders. I don't know. I'm not going to pull it up. You guys can kind of talk to me in the comments, but it just feels to me off the top of my head like he always just destroys the Raiders. So I think 7,400, certainly interested there. What I'm looking at tight end is the cheaper tier. Although, I mean, Kyle Pitts at 5,500, I think is slightly interesting. But if Waller's out again, I do think we can go back to Moreau. I know he's 4K now, but I mean, he basically played, kind of like Waller would, right? He only caught 1 target, but I mean, he's on the field. And I think the ceiling is a little bit higher than what he showed. Njoku is on the reserve list, so I think Austin Hooper at 3,400. Definitely don't want to play 2 Browns in cash, but I think you could consider him. And then for some more value, Logan Thomas just looks like he's not going to play in this game. Obviously, get some good news after his MRI, but looks like he's not going to play. Our boy John Bates, we've already played him once this season. He's at 3K, caught 3 of 4 targets last week. I think he would be the top value at 3K. So I think I would be considering John Bates for value or jumping up to that mid-tier. Gronk up to 6K, but man, I think he's still in play for tournaments with how they've been using him. So I think that upper tier and then maybe some mid-tier shots, but I think Bates is probably my favorite value as long as Logan Thomas is out. And then we'll finish up with defense here. I mean, we're trying to save as much as possible at defense each week. I mean, Jets at home against a banged up Taysom, like, don't love that for like a ceiling because the Saints just aren't going to pass the ball a lot, so there's not a lot of opportunity for sacks. But I think that's in play. I mean, maybe Washington at home against Dallas. Browns at home, maybe. I don't know. Probably just be trying to save as much as usual at defense. But thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to like the video. Like I said, comment below your favorite running back because I think this is a very interesting running back week. And then stay tuned for more content as the week goes on. I'll have my content up Friday, Saturday. We'll have another video dropping Thursday. Then we'll have the Sunday morning stream at 11. So good luck in week 14, and I'll see you guys on the next video.